that behind me is Northern Ireland's most popular tourist attraction, the Titanic Experience Building, which in many ways is also a monument to our best known disaster, the sinking of the cruise liner Titanic with the loss of many thousands of lives. It's a strange thing to be the most popular tour, and it's not quite an honest tour either, because it's very interesting, it's very fascinating, but at no point on that tour do you suddenly get showered with ice and then find yourself at the end of the evening neck deep in ice water, although I can kind of see why that wouldn't be particularly popular as a tourist experience. So you could do it sometime. Very, very interesting, lots to read, but we just seem to have quite a few morbid based tourist attractions here in Belfast. There's also the very popular Troubles tours, where you can hop on a bus or a taxi, travel around and see all the locations and hear all the stories about how we've been murdering each other for decades. Brilliant! Not at all the sort of thing that perpetuates division in any way, shape or form. Or you can do the Crumlin Road jail tour. I actually really enjoyed it, but the highlight of the tour, the apex of that tour, is the moment a door flings open to reveal a noose. The place, well, the place, the last thing that the more unpopular prisoners would see before the last breath is squeezed from their lifeless bodies and their corpse falls through a hole in the ground into a coffin. Very cheery indeed, but let's just go for a run. This is the HMS Caroline, which originally was a World War I battleship, and then later converted to a training vessel for the Royal Navy. I think you can do tours on it, but what isn't so well known about the HMS Caroline is that it was actually Neil Diamond's favourite tourist attraction when he was visiting Northern Ireland, and inspired one of his more famous songs. You thought Sweet Caroline was about a woman? No, it's about Neil Diamond's favourite boat. Right, so just in case you're wondering where I am, I'm in the Titanic quarter of Belfast. Down in the docklands, you can see the famous Harland the Wolf cranes in the background, Samson and Goliath. Don't ask me which is which, I have no idea. This building here, this is very interesting because this is the pump house that was used for sort of pumping the water in and out of the dry dock where Titanic was built. You can't see it at the minute because it's all fenced off now, but on the other side of that you can see the actual dry dock where Titanic was built before being floated way out to sea back over 100 years ago now. I can do a bit of a tour, but anyway, I'm out today. I need to do a 15-mile run. I need to run fairly flat, so I decided I'll come to Belfast and I'll run up the Lagan, which is over here. Belfast Lock goes in, well, it tapers down into the Lagan River. The Lagan River is of course very well known for having a very popular mode of transport known as travelling in a bubble. So if you come to Belfast, you need to get somewhere really quickly, you can just travel up the Lagan in a bubble. Super easy, but there's an old towpath right along the side of it all the way to Lisburn. It goes for miles and miles and miles. If you don't know what a towpath was, at one point the river would have been the main transport route. So the boats coming up, because there's going to be no wind in there, the sail isn't going to work, and not all of them would be necessarily had engines, but they'd have horses that would have walked alongside the canal, a rope from the horses to the boats, and would have pulled them along. That was the towpath. So that path remains. It's now popular with walkers and runners and cyclists. So I'm going to run back through the city. I'll show you a few things in the city, and then out the other end of Belfast. Belfast is tiny, and then down onto the towpath. But I thought I'd just come out here to the birthplace of Titanic, and I do notice over here there's a proper cruise liner, and I haven't seen a cruise liner here in such a long time. Hopefully it's not here quarantining or anything like that. But anyway, let's get my run underway. But before then, to everybody aboard that cruise liner, I really hope you have a better experience than the passengers of the Titanic. Let's go running. Sweet Caroline. Hashtag Glass of Thrones Titanic Studios. From making ships, now making movies. Another little piece of shipping history here. That's the Pneumatic, it's the HMS Pneumatic, which was one of the boats that was used to basically ferry passengers out to the larger cruise liners that would have been sort of anchored offshore. Another Game of Thrones stained window. World's largest Airfix model, maybe. There we go, the big fish. And the reason it's called that is because it's a big fish. I actually think it has a proper title, but nobody knows what it is. Another sculpture which probably has some deep and meaningful name, but everybody just knows that one as the Nuala with the Hula. At the Lagan now, and this is amazing. This is so good because we have managed to get here just in time to capture somebody coming up the Lagan in a literal bubble. Look at that. What I tell you, people come up the Lagan in a bubble all the time. This is us properly on to the start of the towpath now. This always reminds me of when I was a student, when I used to live in Belfast, because I would have taken this route into the city centre on a bike. And there's a little bridge here, I'll show you in a second, that I had a folding bike at the time. Height of trendiness, it was so trendy, no one ever even tried to steal it. Just so embarrassing. But I used to race people on road bikes on my little tiny folding bike, and this bridge comes to a peak and I would hit this hard as I could, catch some air on the bike, and that's why the 6th gear on my folding bike never really worked, because I did something to jump on that bridge. And just like that, after barely 4 miles, we're now going out of the city centre. Belfast is tiny. And onto the Ormo embankment. Alright, that's us now out the bottom of Belfast on the towpath. Next stop along here is the Lockkeepers and Sodas. There we go, there's the old locks. I have another 3/4 of a mile to do before we turn back. Whoa. Found a random trail, decided to follow it to see where it went. I'm on proper forest trails now, I didn't even know these existed. I should come back and explore these some more time. Where's the path? Oh, there it is. Right, I'm gonna follow this. Hopefully this brings me back down to the river. I was lucky. Yeah, definitely gonna come back, explore up there, but for now, I'm gonna go back to the Lockkeepers then. Popular place back there if you want to stop in for a bun, but today I am training for athletic glory. And when you train for glory, there's no time for buns. Although I guess if you train really hard, you will have glorious buns. So that's 9 miles in. I'm going to put the camera away because I'm a little bit slower than I should be. But I hope you've enjoyed this little training run, starting Titanic Quarter through centre Belfast, out along the Lagan Towpath. Have a look around the channel. I've got more running videos. I've also got running videos about tech and outdoors, camping, wild camping, that kind of stuff. You might find something else you like, but I'm going to go, and maybe I'll catch you on the trail. Bye bye.